You are watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the September 11th meeting of the Michigan City Police Civil Service Commission. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Much like talking to lawyers.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is the September 11th, 2024 meeting of the Michigan City Police Civil Service Commission. Before we start the meeting, I'm going to ask everybody to rise and say the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, we have a quorum. Call the meeting to order. Commissioner Simmons?
Here.
And Commissioner Kraus?
Here.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Passed. Old business under applicants and process. I'll let Commissioner Kraus address that.
Okay. Well, the applicants, we had one new hire. He's currently in-house training is the best way to put it. And then another new hire will be Monday. And it'll be a lateral transfer. That'll bring the department up to one under complement. I mean, the full complement right now. But that I was informed will change in the next week. So we'll be at the current level of 82. So there'll be two openings with one lateral currently, I guess you could say, in the process of transferring to us, or to the department, I should say. So it'll be basically down one, and there must be 30 applications in there, so whenever we want to go through that next testing, depending on how the budget goes with the chiefs and the city, I'm sure, let's say by this time next year, of course we said that last year too, we hope to be up to full complement, but that remains to be seen. You can only hire them, and if they leave or they don't make it, that's sometimes just the way it goes. But that's about all I have on that. One at the academy right now, correct?
Correct.
And then one that has to retest.
Done. Passed.
It's done and passed,
Mm-hmm.
So that's no longer an issue?
No longer an issue.
Even better.
Yep.
So one at the academy, going through the training, and it's good, I guess, I guess the department's in good standing with the training staff that's here, and the members of the department doing well. That's it.
So probationary officer reports, that would be Lieutenant Westfall.
Morning.
Morning.
Got quite a bit here, so we'll go through them here. Start with Officer C.J. Kuzco. He's doing well. He's operating on his own on shift 3, and his period ended. So that's just great. He's doing really well. Hicks, it's the same thing. He's on shift 1 now. Ryan Coots is operating his own. His probationary period ended August 21st. He's doing very well. Officer Thomas Dolph tested out of the FTO program on August 12th. He's doing very well. He's ahead of schedule. Alexander Henry, he's on track where he should be. He's doing very well. Kukla is down in Hialeah at the academy, doing well there too. Officer Brandon Drake is currently down in Hialeah. Let's tell the report there. I'm sorry. He's not actually. He's going to be in phase 1 of the training program for FTO. Same with Caselka, Hinson, Smallwood, and Williams. All doing well. Woodman and Hunter Miller are the same. So everybody's where they should be, either at the academy, the FTO program, or testing out, which is a good thing. So we're happy.
Okay, so under new business, not new business, we'll go back to old business, so, sorry. I've spoken with the testing for public safety administrator, Amy Emerson, regarding the promotional exams. They'll be conducted November 7th. I believe it is at 2 p.m. And then afterwards, there will be a review session for the officers who took the test. The interview portion of the promotional exam will take place the week of December 2nd, I believe, through the 6th. And so those interviews will be scheduled, obviously, after we determine who's eligible to do the interview portion. And then we'll try to schedule those interviews around their work schedules, whatever convenient for them or best fits their schedule. I think that's about it for old business. Under
Give the date for the test.
the date was November 7th. Yeah, 2 p.m. And then what else was that? Is the budget hearing with the city under old business or new business?
That will probably be new business.
Then I'll let you address that.
No, we're doing next one.
Yeah,
With
we'll
new
go to new
business.
business. You can address.
Okay.
If we had a budget hearing yet.
No, we have not had a budget hearing yet.
They should be starting next Thursday.
Okay.
I
Next
got
Thursday.
pushed for some changes, so it should be next week.
I know it was scheduled for August 15th, but then it got postponed. Okay. All right. I don't believe there's any claims to be paid.
No.
I'll turn it over then to Assistant Chief Forker.
Yeah, again, obviously, we talked to some staffing, right, this year. Again, we've kind of been close to that number of a full complement this year, right? And now we're starting to see the fruits of that because this group of 6 that's in field training right now, they're again entering phase 2 of their field training. So by the end of the year, right, we'll essentially be 2 short of a fully complement and trained. Right, again, we've had them on the books all year, I would say all year, but we've had several of these probationary officers on, in training and whatnot this year, and again, it's a long process, but again, we're looking forward to, them completing their field training, and again, that puts us, at a fully trained, complement of officers, or 2 short of that. So again, we're excited to get these 2, or this group of 6 through FTO, to get Officer Kukla back in the academy. And then again, we're looking forward to the lateral transfer. Again, who was, I'll say, was a previous employee here at the Michigan City Police Department. So we're expecting a relatively abbreviated field training program. I know Corporal Bass is working on that. Again, as he was a previous employee here. So again, I think, hopefully it speaks highly of, I think of the culture and that we're building here, to get a few more employees back. We did receive the resignation there this week of Officer Noah Smith. Again, it sounds like he's headed to another department. I think that's to be effective on September 18th. So again, we're getting one in, but we're getting one out the door again. So it kind of leaves us at that 82 mark. So again, we're excited there. Some upcoming things here at Michigan City Police Department. We have the Citizens Police Academy. If you've seen on our Facebook page the last probably week or so, there's been a couple posts about applications and a link to where to get that application. Again, that's for 21 and older. Obviously, we're going to try to take Michigan City residents first, but again, it is open to whomever to apply. 21 years and older have to obviously sign off and do a background check. But again, again, I think this is our 15, how many are up there? 13th, I think, Citizens Police Academy here. Again, just give us more of an insight of, how we operate here, some of the cool technology and, the crime scene investigations, emergency vehicle operations, some of those things that we continually do here. And just give more of a more in-depth look at, some of the things we do here at the police station. I think it's generally a good event, good participation. Gets our officers again more involved with, the people want to learn about how we do things. So again, that'll be Thursdays starting October 10th, and I believe running through until the week before Thanksgiving. So I believe there's 7 weeks of the Citizens Police Academy. Again, that'll be here. It's generally 6 to 9 p.m. And again, which will provide a dinner for you. So again, sign up, it's free. Again, we look forward to doing that every year. And looking for people that want to learn more about our police stations or police department. So again, follow our social media for information on that. Other than that, I don't really have anything else. Again, Chief Corley is out. He's at a conference this week, so he'll be back in the office, I think, on Friday. So a little catch up like that. We've all kind of been different vacations here to wrap up, so we're kind of all playing catch up. Obviously, the budget hearing stuff is, finalizing through the city. So if we hear anything about your hearing or a particular day or time, we'll make sure we pass that information along to you guys.
Chief Cooney.
Real quick, I'll run through the August stats. We had calls for service was 3,849. Again, this is for August of 2024. Case reports was 375. Arrests, we had 164, 7 were juveniles, 157 were adults. Flock and Raven usage within incident reports was 12. Shots fired call was 24. Firearm seized 7. And then speeding warnings and citations, we had 183. Citations were 15 and 170 warnings. I was going to mention about the police academy, but before I did that, we do have one letter of commendation to hand out. Go ahead and read that now. Yeah. Thank you, Corporal Plisky, if you come up, please. It was on the 11th day of September 2024, letter of commendation for outstanding service as follows. On Thursday, March 7, 2024, Detective Corporal Kate Plisky and Detective Alan Picture with the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office initiated investigations into multiple sex offenses against a 15-year-old victim where multiple sexual encounters took place with the victim's uncle at a different residence, both inside the city limits of Michigan City and the unincorporated parts of Michigan City. Forensic interview took place with the victim, which provided further details surrounding the multiple forced sexual encounters with the suspect. The specific details surrounding the nature of these sexual encounters are extremely painful, horrific, and upsetting. The events this young child was exposed to over the course of several years was simply disgusting and completely incomprehensible. Both Corporal Plisky and Detective Pishker worked very closely with the prosecutor's office to secure a total of 5 criminal charges against the suspect. The charges Corporal Plisky secured were for 2 counts of child molesting level 1 felony. The charges Detective Pishker secured were 1 count of child molesting A felony and 2 counts of child molesting Class C felony. The suspect was arrested by the LaPorte County Sheriff's Office on June 11th for Detective Pishker's warrants, later served with Corporal Plisky's warrants on July 9th of 2024. Captain Urbanski explained, Corporal Plisky and Detective Pishker's work relentlessly in bringing justice and closure to the victims of this heinous act. They both brought a living nightmare this child was experiencing for several years to an end. They both remained focused and dedicated to holding the suspect accountable for his actions. There's no doubt that the suspect would have likely continued to reoffend the victim if not for the work of Corporal Plisky and Detective Pishker, who put in a very time-consuming and detailed investigation. It takes special detectives like Corporal Plisky and Detective Pishker to do the work that they do every day. They're not someone who seeks recognition or glory for their work. He's very fortunate to be Corporal Plisky's commander, and she's an asset to the community. Detective K. Plisky, Corporal K. Plisky, sorry. Your actions during the event are recognized by the command staff for keeping with the high standards of the Michigan City Police Department. It gives us great pleasure to present you with this letter of commendation.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks.
Okay.
One more, good. Thank you.
Anything else?
Well, again, congrats to Corporal Fliske. All the detectives are doing a fantastic job. You know, with one of the things that we're looking for in the future with having full staff is to add in the detective bureau. They all do a great job. Crime suppression unit, the drug unit, and then of course all that flows from the initial work with the patrol division as well. I think overall we're doing a fantastic job with our personnel and can't be prouder of where we're at with the department.
Just one more note, obviously September 11th, right, is today, so, you know, just obviously take a moment to honor those, you know, victims of that, obviously horrific event of terrorism there, and, you know, obviously those who serve this country, you know, in our military service and all the, obviously, first responders. I think, you know, it's one of those events, right, that go down in history that we kind of remember where we were and what we were doing, you know, on this date, you know, 23 years ago. So again, just want to take a minute to honor those first responders and military members, you know, again, thank them for all their services.
Anything from your office?
No.
Okay. I don't have any, other than congratulations to Kay and congratulations to the members of the department for a pretty successful summer. I know sometimes summer with all the events that go on in town, it's a pretty hectic time, but I think it went off, you know, pretty much without a hitch. So, and that's because of their presence and so I appreciate that from my standpoint. Bruce?
Go ahead, Rita.
I really want to say appreciation to the police department. It has been amazing. As the summer has came along, I haven't gotten involved in too many activities this summer, but we have had a quiet summer and that's amazing. And our department is amazing. Y'all have stepped up since I've been on the commission board, and once we got up to almost full staff, we just been rolling them out left and right, and more accommodations has been coming out. So this is very amazing of our police department. I am very proud of our police department here.
I echo that with what Leland Scott said. The department, the officers have done an outstanding job, and they're to be complimented. Hopefully that will be reflected in a big pay raise for each of you next year, but that's out of my hands. And I hope we all remember, you know, 9/11. And I think we all do. Sometimes we don't acknowledge those who, I mean, they didn't do anything except go to work and, or, you know, get on a plane and go somewhere and visit somebody, and then because of a different way of life and a different way of thinking, they're no longer with us. And those who do public service, there's nothing better than that. The rewards you get from that, maybe not always financial, but when you get toward the end of your career, or maybe the end of your life for that matter, you wonder if you made a difference. Each of you on this department has done that, and that's something that nobody can ever take away from you. From a personal note, my term ends on September the 24th is when it's over. And it has been my distinct privilege and honor to be your police commissioner, the one that, because my position is voted on by the active members of the department, and hopefully I've made a positive impact on the commission, helped you get to where you needed to be as far as the total number of officers on the department. But I've also come to realize that at my age, I have an antiquated way of looking at things, and you deserve better than that. So it's time for this old man to step away and get some younger blood up here. Young, I mean, I'm not saying you two are old, but younger than me and a fresher attitude and outlook on how things should be done as police officers. I'm an old school type of guy, always have been, and maybe I hope I haven't held back the department advancing and doing a great job because of my viewpoints, that maybe somebody didn't get hired because for whatever reason. But it's time for me to let it go, and I'm sure each of you will come up with somebody who I'm sure will do a better job than I ever did. But I thank you for the opportunity. It's been my privilege and a true honor to have been your police commissioner, and I just wanted to say thank you.
Thank you. Are there any comments from any FOP members in the audience?
And I'll say something as an FOP member, obviously, as a representative of the FOP, Commissioner Kraus, you have obviously represented us, with the best in, having the lodge in mind, or having the fellowship of the FOP in mind, and making decisions towards this department, and, hiring, and, processes and whatnot. I know along myself and probably a few more in this room, we got to work firsthand with you, on this department, and, being truthful and honest and upfront, and just, to me is the easiest way to handle business. And I think that's something that you help, pass along to myself, and just, be honest and upfront, and, it's just rip the Band-Aid off quickly, right? You just deal with it, deal with things, and then, then we can all move past them and either learn from our mistakes, to make things better, or, just move on, right? I think that's the biggest thing, and again, I obviously appreciate all your years of service within this department, and hereafter as a commissioner. It just says something about, who you are as a person and an individual, just to, continue to, serve this community, in as big or little fashion as people think it is, but, you've truly had an impact, I know, on this department over the last, at least a year and a half, I could say, as being in one of these seats, the impact that you've had has greatly impacted us in a positive manner, the last couple of years. So again, I'll say thank you for your service, and obviously we'll continue to see you around, I'm sure,
As long as you don't take my key.
No, we're not gonna take your gym membership away.
I'll make sure I
Still need that upfront honesty and, reality checks sometimes, so.
I'll make sure I keep leaving the gun in the car too.
Yeah, that's what Thank you, for all your years of support.
Public comments. That could be you.
Well, Scott Malentoni, Kevin Place. I've generally been very, I feel very complimentary of our police department. I think we have a good force here. I think there's a great command staff that does many good things. I kind of would like to talk about a larger perspective. I've done some research. The average for policing, the level of police officers per 1,000 population for cities in America is 2.3 officers per 1,000. With our staff of 82 divided into 30,000 and taking out the 2,000 prisoners from the prison and just rounding to 30,000, we have a ratio of 3.6 officers per 1,000. Which is more than 50% above the national average. Yet, in crime statistics, we're in the 5th percentile, meaning 95% of other places have lower crime than we do. Which is shocking, I think. It doesn't feel like a crime-ridden city like that to me, but I don't know who made these statistics, and I don't know what they're counting. So I can't tell if we're over-policed or under-policed, or since by the statistics we have a lot of police per population, why we don't have better crime statistics. I think this is something worthy of exploration or discussion. As you're all aware, we recently received a federal grant to increase double the number of flock license plate readers in the city to 60. and you've all heard me before voice my kind of opposition to this governmental surveillance. 60 cameras feels like true blanket surveillance. A report from the chief was that they were involved in 12 things last month. I would ask us to reduce our retention period from the 30 days in the contract to 7. 7 days would not have affected, a 7-day retention period would not have affected the recent successes with our double murder in Normandy Village or other things. These are, if they're investigated, within 7 days, you've got that data. I don't like blanket surveillance of the population and data retention for 30 days. I think that's excessive. Given that flock cameras are seen as a force multiplier, and we have such a high ratio of police to population, and we have a budget issue in this city, as hard as we've all worked to get to a full complement, I question if we can reduce our headcount to reduce the budget. I don't know the answers. I'm bringing forth questions. I consider myself a friend of the police. I'm basically a law-abiding citizen. But I do question this level of policing with the results we have and the budget that is coming to this department. And we're all going to have to make hard decisions balancing the city budget. We have a structural deficit of millions of dollars. Again, I think we have a good force. I think we have a great command staff. And I know you guys deal with stuff that me in my civilian life don't know what you're dealing with. Recent success, a big drug bust on Main Street, fentanyl, killing hundreds of people in Indiana. The double homicide at Normandy Village, and things like what Corporal Detective Plinsky was just awarded for. These are horrible things that you guys all deal with, and I appreciate the good hard work of this department. Thank you.
So before we adjourn the meeting, I'd be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the presence of Chaplain Alan Harvey. And so before I adjourn, I'd ask if he'd say a prayer for not only the victims of 9/11, but all public service personnel across the nation and here in our hometown.
Thank you, so. Precious Father God, we are so blessed to have a community that is a safe community. And while we know that terrorist acts can take place, anytime, people have misguided ideas about what is right and wrong, we're thinking that we have a police force and a fire department in the city, in the county, and in the state that recognizes that it is truth that is important. The primary truth is that you love people, and people ought to be loving people and not killing and hurting people. Thank you for your ministers in their blue or sometimes brown uniforms that hold that line between normal, law-abiding citizens and people who do horrible and ugly things. Lord, as we remember this many years ago, the horrible, ugly thing that took place that we're recognizing this day, we ask that you continue to comfort the families of people that were killed, and that you continue to protect us using whatever means is best, based on your definition of best. And we will trust you for the details and thank you for every breath we get to take in a safe and free country and community. Thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
And with that, we'll adjourn the meeting. The next meeting will be Wednesday, October 9th at 11 a.m. here in the same room.